Imagine an entire generation quietly inheriting a golden ticket, while the next faces a locked door, the key thrown away. This isn't dystopian fiction. It's the brutal reality unfolding in the American housing market right now. A reality billionaire investor, Peter Thiel, calls nothing short of a catastrophe. But for one group, it's shaping up to be the windfall of a lifetime. The question isn't just what is happening, but why we're letting it happen, and crucially, who pays the price. The name Peter Thiel conjures images of digital frontiers. PayPal, Facebook, the very fabric of our tech-dominated age. So, when this oracle of Silicon Valley shifts his gaze from bits and bytes to bricks and mortar, we should lean in. His recent, stark warning to the free press isn't about the next crypto crash or AI takeover, but about something far more fundamental, the very ground beneath our feet, and the house upon it. Thiel reaches back to the 19th century, dusting off the theories of economist Henry George, to illuminate a modern American crisis, one he bluntly labels a Georgist real estate catastrophe. The inescapable math of scarcity's core argument is chillingly simple, grounded in the brutal logic of supply and demand. Real estate, particularly in desirable locations, is extremely inelastic. We can't easily make more of it, especially when layers of zoning restrictions, NIMBYism, and regulatory hurdles actively prevent new construction. Now, layer on population growth. Add 10% to the population in a city, Thiel explains, and maybe the house prices go up 50%. People's salaries go up, but they don't go up by 50%. The result? Economic growth measured in GDP becomes a cruel illusion for millions. The gains aren't broadly shared, they are funneled, almost exclusively, into the equity of existing homeowners. Who wins? Who loses? The stark arithmetic of generational theft. This is where Thiel's analysis transcends mere market commentary and enters the realm of societal indictment. The beneficiaries are clear: the boomer homeowners and the landlords. They sit atop appreciating assets, often acquired at significantly lower relative costs decades ago, shielded by restrictive policies that artificially inflate their worth. The losers? The lower middle class and young people who can never get on the housing ladder. For them, the dream of ownership recedes further each year, replaced by the crushing weight of ever-increasing rents, consuming a disproportionate share of stagnant incomes. Thiel pulls no punches. It's this incredible wealth transfer from the young and the lower middle class to the upper middle class and the landlords and the old. Let that sink in. This isn't an accidental byproduct of a complex market. It's a systemic outcome, deliberate or at least negligently permitted funneling of wealth upwards and backwards in age. Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell's stark admission underscores Thiel's point. The real issue with housing is that we have had, and are on track to continue to have, not enough housing. Where are we going to get the supply? The numbers are damning. A staggering estimated shortage of 3.8 million homes in the US as of 2024. This isn't a gap. It's a chasm deliberately carved by policy inertia. Beyond eggs and milk, the true face of inflation. Thiel deftly punctures the common narrative around inflation. While rising grocery prices pinch, the really big cost item is the rent. For the generation locked out of ownership, soaring housing costs represent a permanent, structural burden, a tax levied not by the government, but by a dysfunctional market tilted in favor of incumbents. This is the core of the cost of living crisis gripping America. A crisis where shelter, the most basic human need, becomes the primary engine of financial stress and inequality. A catastrophe forged in policy, not just markets. Labeling this a mere market dynamic is a dangerous cop-out. Thiel rightly identifies this as a crisis playing out across the Anglosphere countries, US, UK, Canada, nations sharing similar tendencies towards restrictive land use policies. The catastrophe isn't just economic, it's social and generational. It breeds resentment, stifles mobility, and entrenches inequality. When an entire generation feels systematically excluded from a cornerstone of wealth building and stability, the foundations of society itself are weakened. The ladder is broken. Are there alternative rungs? Thiel's phrase, "getting on the housing ladder," feels increasingly like a cruel joke for many. Even if prices stabilize, elevated mortgage rates, despite recent Fed cuts, remain a formidable barrier. The traditional path is blocked for countless Americans. But here's where the narrative takes a crucial turn, and where a commentator must look beyond just diagnosing the disease to exploring potential responses within the skewed system, recognizing the immense, locked value within existing real estate. 36 trillion in US home equity. Innovative platforms are emerging, offering fractional ownership and access previously reserved for the ultra-wealthy or institutions. These aren't solutions to the core supply crisis, but they represent adaptation within the current reality. For accredited investors, targeting the core equity home shares, platforms like HomeShares offer direct exposure to the appreciating value of owner-occupied homes in top US cities via their U.S. Home Equity Fund Min 25,000. This bypasses the headaches of direct ownership while targeting the very asset class experiencing the windfall. Their focus on risk-adjusted returns, historically 12-18, highlights the concentrated gains Thiel identified. Democratizing access arrived, backed by giants like Bezos. Arrived shatters the traditional barrier to entry. For as little as 100, non-accredited investors can own shares in SEC-qualified rental properties, curated for income and appreciation potential. It's a direct, albeit fractional, stake in the landlord returns Thiel described, accessible regardless of income level, a small foothold in a rigged game. The necessity play First National Realty Partners (FNPRP), focusing on commercial real estate leased by essential retailers Whole Foods, Walmart, etc. Min 50K. For accredited investors, FNPRP leverages triple net NNN leases. This targets recession-resistant income streams, a different angle on real estate's defensive appeal in turbulent times. The uncomfortable truth and the imperative epiter. Thiel has shone a harsh light on an uncomfortable American truth. Our housing market is not just broken, it's actively enriching one generation at the direct expense of the next and hollowing out the middle class. The Georgist catastrophe is not a prophecy, it's the lived experience of millions priced out of the dream their parents took for granted. The windfall for boomer homeowners is real, fueled by scarcity we refuse to adequately address. This is the hook revealed at the end. The catastrophe isn't some distant economic theory, it's the deliberate outcome of choices we make or fail to make about land, growth, and community. The windfall isn't luck. It's the benefit of a system tilted in favor of those who already hold the cards. We can debate zoning reform, density, and policy solutions until the cows come home if we can afford the land for them. But while that essential work must happen, platforms offering alternative paths to real estate exposure present a pragmatic, albeit imperfect, adaptation for individuals navigating this distorted landscape. Ignoring Thiel's warning isn't just foolish. It's an endorsement of a generational theft in progress. The catastrophe is here. The only question is whether we have the collective will to stop it, or if we'll simply watch as the ladder is pulled up further, leaving the next generation stranded. The commentary isn't just about markets, it's about the future of the American promise itself.